Welcome back, my friends, to the Lo-Fi Lounge. I'm Chris LeRoy. We got film, we got music, we got interviews, and it all starts right now.
So we have this guitar behind us that's been on the table for the last few songs that we played. And I wanted to tell you a quick story about it. So this belonged to a friend of mine named Robert Balow. Robert was one of the first people when I started in Fender in 1999 that I became friendly with. He was a tuner tester there. He was a super nice guy. We lived kind of like parallel lives, as it turns out, different high schools, and we finally met at Fender. And he was always the kind of guy that would get a guitar, and he would get like parts of a guitar that you're able to buy at employee sales, and he'd sand off the finish, and he would, like, all this is his illustrations that he did. And then he'd swap pick guards and necks and everything. He was really, really good at working on guitars. So in September of 2003, unfortunately, he passed away. And he's still missed. I still think of him all the time. And I've been very good friends with his wife, Tracy. And Tracy wound up through Bob and Robert and Tracy know Bob and Lisa. They go way back with those two. And they were in Europe on one of their tours. Tracy was living there after Robert had passed. So they were doing the tour, and then Tracy asked if they can bring these guitars back. And they wound up with me, because Tracy basically said, take these two guitars and please make sure that they get played. Mm-hmm. And they hadn't been played since Robert was around. So, and there was some oxidation, old strings, things like that. So I was taking it apart and cleaning it up, making sure and putting new strings on, wiping it down. And I thought, well, what kind of pickups are there on this? And I took off the pick guard and I opened it up, and and remember, Robert did all this illustration. While he was doing that, he also drew a heart, and it says RB loves TB for Tracy Balow. So, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to Tracy. I said, "Did you know that he did this?" And she didn't. And it was just like probably what Rob was hoping, that someday she would find out somehow, yeah. And she did. It was by complete accident, but it was a very I just felt such a warm rush, of good feeling, when I saw it. And I just remembered Rob freshly remembered him all over again. So he's a great player. He's a great local musician, and just kind of celebrating his life. And and it's going to be 17 years in a few weeks, when he had passed. So I was thinking about it. I thought, man, this would be really cool to talk about. As it turns out, too, I also wanted to talk about the song Lucky.
Oh, okay.
Because we've, talked about the origin of it, but I also played the solo on Lucky on this guitar.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Which is pretty cool. So it's kind of a tie-in, we got Bob and Lisa, we got Tracy, we got the Tracy Dell, which he named it. You can see it's written up there. He named it after his wife, and that's the Tracy Dell Strat. And I told her, hey, I played this solo, so she was real happy. So. Ooh. Well, you want to give it a shot right now?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'll use this. Using the Tracy Dell.
All right.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah. How
and
appropriate.
Thank you, Robert Balow. Beautiful guitar. I just love this.
Yeah.
There's even in the back, he's got this really cool rosewood backplate that he made for it. It's very unique, and it sounds great.
So Lucky, we'll play that for your friend.
Okay.
For Robert.
Robert Balow.
I'm lucky for my fingers, lucky bed to sleep, lucky thoughts that linger, lucky as I leave. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke into. I'm lucky, so lucky, the times I spend with you. Now some folks call it destiny, say we can't control our fate. Oh, but me, I don't believe that stuff, and I'm luckier that way. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke into. But I'm lucky, so lucky, the times I spent with you. What more could I ask for? What more could I do? What more could I ask for? Oh, so much to yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Well, I'm lucky I'm still dreaming, lucky to have cried, even lucky for the bad luck, just lucky to have tried. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I turn my mind to days before we broke into. I'm lucky, so lucky, the times I spend with you, the times I spend with you. You know we're lucky, lucky, lucky. We're all so lucky, lucky, lucky. Yeah, we're all so lucky, lucky, lucky. Thank you, Robert. We were born in the Delta, and we float to the ocean.
How do you use poems
Mm-hmm.
in therapy? What are some of the strategies you use?
Well, I mostly use them with groups.
Uh-huh.
Although sometimes someone will bring in a poem individually and we'll talk about it. Or if somebody has a favorite poem that really means a lot to them. There's a book actually called Saved by a Poem. That book is about poetry saving your life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you or I certainly have poems that I read over and over again because they matter to me so much. So that's how I would use it individually. But in a group, what I'll do is I'll bring a poem in. I'll choose a poem, and we read it together, and then we use that poem as a prompt for our own writing.
Oh, okay.
And actually, yeah, the first poem that I read with you, the one about the heat wave, that came from one of my meetings just recently.
Oh, wow.
So we write together, yeah.
You do have a poem. It's kind of a Leonard Cohen connection in there.
So that one, I just realized recently I'm not the only person who has parodied Hallelujah.
No, yeah.
But this is my version. And it's called Lord of Song, with apologies to Leonard Cohen. Leonard, lucky you missed this. Left us just as the music took its minor slip. You missed this ugly, damaged time. When faith, they say, is strong, but tied up to a dining room chair, no need to cut any Samson's hair. It's all handcuffs and thrones now. It's all fear and hate, lies and cries. The victors march across our stage, but what's really going on below, they never show us, do they? And what's this faith, this Lord of Song? Is he watching now? Is he even there as innocents go down to the valley of their shadows? And who remembers dear Anne Frank, Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till, the best among us, flanked by tears, not coming back, and still the deaths continue. What's important now? Your shade of skin, the soldier, how you stand your ground. Keep the other out, they shout and shout. Make sure the bathroom door stays shut. Take back what's been won. Keep your gun. It's a frigid and a fractured Alleluia.
On the cusp of what's happening in Wisconsin, it's just, but it could be any day, but particularly this last 24 hours, how that kind of reframes that sentiment. And Leonard Cohen, he would be proud of that poem. Are you kidding? He loves that poem.
Well, that's the highest compliment I've ever had, actually. It's depressing to me that many of the poems in this book could have been written today, so not that much has actually changed. But we'll see. We're hoping.
So Goodnight Starbright. I'm going to dedicate it to Betty tonight.
I got to hold these lyrics. It's hard. It's an emotional tune, and I might not do so well. You want to do it? I'll do my best. The God that makes you beautiful, the God that brings you home, the God that leaves you out here on my own, the God that calls a bird before it has flown. Well, heaven knows you're not alone. Good night, Starbright. Sleep, sleep and dream. Don't cry, don't say goodbye. You're still here with me. Life is just a melody we never understand. Music in a stream without a plan. We can't have the whole world in our hands. Heaven knows we're not alone. Good night, Starbright. Sleep, sleep and dream. Don't sigh, don't say goodbye. You're still here with me. And half of what you whisper now makes all the sense to me. You could tell these lines to set you free. Sail into a deep eternity.